Hello, in this video I'm going to tell you how I messed up my flooring and how I subsequently fixed it. Before I get into that, I just want to say a big thanks to Keith from Rag and Bone Brown. He recommended my channel whilst I was effectively on a break. I didn't think I was going to come back at that point, but that's a story for another day. Check out his channel if you don't follow him already. I know 800 of you come over since then, so it's good to have you. As they say, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, so this video will be in the style of one of Keith's. I will stand here, not in front of my workshop, because I don't have one, but I do have a container full of shit and tools. If you follow from the start, you know that I've been building my cart lodge for many months. I've been slaving away all of this time. This is a lesson on how a silly mistake at the very beginning can affect you massively in the future. To begin with, I erected the frame and the tie beams that go from the front to the back were slightly crowned. So with that, I had to try and pull down the center post. It wasn't going away and I had to leave it as is. When putting in my floor joist, I used long leg hangers, and when I bent them over the top, I then nailed them in place. I didn't realize that this would be an issue at all. That extra couple of mil or so, I didn't think would make much of a difference. It was something that I didn't consider at the time. The P5 chipboard tongue groove flooring does have a moisture resistance to it, and it had a protective film over the top. The manufacturer does recommend to glue and tape the joints. I didn't want to do that, and I didn't anticipate I was going to take as long as I did. So I decided to screw the floor down, not glue it, and I gaffer taped it. Because the weather was a bit more intense than I anticipated, I did cover up the flooring with some tarps. I hoped that that would help, but the water damage did cause a little bit of an issue as well. You might have seen in a previous video that I described the problem that I had, where I was left with two ridges on the floor all the way across, almost where each tie beam went. I planned to use luxury vinyl planks for my flooring, but I realised that that wouldn't actually work, as the flooring would probably break where the ridges were. You need to have a flat floor with a deviation of no more than 3 millimeters over a meter. I decided that I might be able to take them ridges out with a sander, so I did buy myself a nice big Triton. Before I tried out the sander, I decided that I'd have a go at using a planer. I also borrowed a Triton one, a nice big chunky thing, to see if I could take the ridges out that way. So I had to take out all of the screws to do so. It was quite a job, and I was thankful that I had my Hilti vacuum hooked up to my planer. I had to take away about 3 or 4 mil in the centre and then feather it out to each side. Now this did take me all day, but I got there in the end. I wasn't worried about compromising the strength of the flooring in them areas because the tie beams were directly underneath. So going from 22 mil down to 18 was perfectly fine. Because I'd removed the top layer of material, I realised that the wood was no longer water resistant, so I decided the best way to deal with that was to seal it with some SBR. With that task completed, I was able to lay my flooring without issue. In the future, if I was to do this again, I realised that I should have effectively let in the top of the hangers and nails, something that I've seen Robin Clevitt do in one of his videos. I did have a bit of a disaster when laying my floor, but that will be in a future video. If you're not already, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Bloody hell, Keith, I don't know how you just stand so still and say all of this. It's taken me about 50 million takes and I'm dizzy. I'll see you later. I'm putting in my floor joist that I plan to use luxury vinyl planks for the flooring, and let's time it. 10 minutes, go.